Yizzo, my peoples, my Niji. What up, baby? Hope you have an amazing day on purpose so far. You know your boy definitely is. Like to welcome you to what is the worst thing that could happen? All right. What's the worst thing that could happen? That's the name of this segment here. We'll be diving into different topics, um, and just kind of touching on really what's the worst thing that can happen. We talk about it a lot. I'm not sure if we truly think about it. Today's topic, we're going to be starting out with high fructose corn syrup. Consuming it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Let's find out. Let's get ready to lock in. You know what I'm saying? Let's get ready to surf the waves. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to come tap in real quick. But let's get into it. What I did is I got a bunch of articles. Um, I didn't read them all the way through, but kind of skimmed through. I wanted to just kind of go through them with you guys. Let's kind of just gather some information together, and then just let's start using this information to make better decisions. That's the main thing. I think we don't have the proper information a lot of times to make the best decisions. So with that being said, let's get it, baby. So what is high fructose corn syrup? You know what I'm saying? What is this garbage that they are giving to us, that they are targeting our children with? What is this garbage? All right. Compared to corn syrup, which is 100% glucose. Glucose is just sugar. All right. High fructose corn syrup is high in fructose. High fructose corn syrup is a mixture of two monosaccharides. It is 50%, 55% fructose and 45% glucose. High fructose corn syrup is equal to sweetness of sucrose. All right. And as you can see, this is just a really scientific breakdown of what it is. All right. How is it made? That's even going to be really, really more scientific. All right. It's a misnomer. Listen. And this is coming from foodinsight.org. So once again, guys, go on here. I said, I'm just going to be skimming and reading some important highlighted stuff here. If you guys want to really thoroughly go into it, you got the link right there. All right. So how is high fructose corn syrup digested? This is important. Like we need to know what is this doing and how is your body handling this? All right. Like other caloric sugars, high fructose corn syrup provides about 4 calories per gram. And the way we digest high fructose corn syrup is similar to other sugars as well. When we consume high fructose corn syrup, we consume glucose and fructose. Glucose ultimately gets taken up by our cells with the help of insulin, while fructose is handled in the liver and does not need insulin to be absorbed. A 2015 randomized crossover trial found no difference in blood glucose response or other cardiometabolic outcomes in people who consume beverages sweetened with high fructose corn syrup, honey, and sucrose daily for 2 weeks. Now, listen, we got to be able to dodge the hijack here, okay? We have to use common sense here, okay? But I'll as we continue to read articles, you'll see how that statement right there just does not make any sense. Let's get back here. Why is it added to the food and beverages? Here's a great question, right? Why? Why would they put this in here, right? High fructose corn syrup is not sold directly to consumers in the grocery stores. You know why? Do you know why? Because you wouldn't buy it. You wouldn't. You would see it, you would read it, they couldn't sell this to you like that. They have to put it in small doses, micro doses, and cut it up and put it in your stuff. You wouldn't buy it. No. All right. Rather, it is only used commercially in items like baked goods, beverages, candies, canned and packaged foods, condiments, jams, yogurts, and other sweetened foods. That's a lot of food there, right? It's crazy. High fructose corn syrup is used in the U.S. Use in the U.S. begun in the late 1960s, peaked in 1999. I would not say peaked. It got to be. It's still going. It's in everything and has declined during. No way. Dodge the hijack on that. Declined during this century as America has reduced added sugar consumption. The most recent estimate from the U.S. Department of Agriculture showed that per capita, similar amounts of high fructose corn syrup were available for consumption in 2016-17 as was available in 1984-85. Okay, I have a chart that will show different. Most people are aware that high fructose corn syrup and other sugars are added to foods and beverages to provide sweetness. No, they are not. I wouldn't be doing this. I thought most of y'all knew about this. I wouldn't be doing this. Okay. And you know what? Maybe you do know about it, and maybe you don't know how dangerous it is. So maybe that is a true statement. But many may not know that sugars are also used for other reasons. High fructose corn syrup is a common ingredient in baked goods that provide surface browning. Come on, man. Just adjust your temp when you're cooking. I don't need you to do that. Moisture. Maybe add a banana. Okay. I don't need that in it. Structure, once again, maybe some cornstarch, something. Okay. And texture. Refer to the one I just said. Okay. For those two things. I don't need high fructose corn syrup. Anyway, in beverages, for body and flavor. And bread, jams, jellies to act as a preservative. Just let me know I only got 2 weeks. I will throw it out, please. And another, items to stabilize emotion and add flavor. Once again, if you give me honey, right, and it get too thick, I'm gonna put it in hot water. Okay? I don't need you to add high fructose corn syrup to my honey just to make it not get thick. All right. I got hot water. I got heat. I can do it myself. Thank you. All right. Or added sugars such as high fructose corn syrups gives many of us our favorite foods the taste and mouthful we come to expect. It is most important to keep our consumption of sugar, of added sugars low. All right, let's talk about this statement right here, right? Because they try to make it seem like we love this. While sugars added, while added sugars such as high fructose corn syrup give many of us our favorite fruit, give our favorite foods the taste and mouthfeel we have come to expect. Excuse me, why am I so tongue-tied right now? Right? We come to expect that. You know why we come to expect that? Because we haven't done any research. I don't expect this anymore. Okay. I don't expect to bite into my food, taste this stuff, because I can taste the difference now. All right. So I'm not going to get on a rant here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What makes high fructose corn syrup so bad? And this is coming from harvardhospital.org. Okay. harvardhospital.org. Okay. All right. We got where it comes from. Just high fructose corn syrup starts off as a starch, which is nothing more than a link of glucose molecule. You know what I mean? We pretty much we got that in the last joint. Why is it bad? All right. More than 2/3 of Americans are either obese or overweight. And added sugars and high fructose corn syrups are considered primary causes of the overwhelming of America. All right. Weight gain. Just remember the last one tried to make it seem like it's very similar to honey. It's very similar to honey. Okay. Weight gain abetted by high calorie food containing high fructose corn syrup can also contribute to heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver disease, and dyslipidemia, an abnormal level of cholesterol and other fats in the blood. That sounds pretty dangerous. You see how like that last article just kind of like, man, come on, man. It's honey, similar. It's honey, it's similar. Okay. Fructose becomes a more universal threat to your body by accumulating as visceral fat around your organs. Okay, the visceral fat is dangerous, baby. That's the stuff that pouch up. You know how like you see that pouch that just hang down on somebody sometimes in that area, and you just be like, "How? What? That visceral fat? You don't want that visceral fat. Covers important stuff up. You don't want that. Not a good look." Okay. High fructose corn syrup also adds to natural bacteria in our intestines, which can produce bloating and gas. Now you wonder why the man on the bus, right? You wonder why the man on the bus is just farting all the time while he's got the McDonald's. Okay. He's full of this stuff. Disgusting. It's oozing out. His body can't shoot it out fast enough. The body can't get it out fast enough. Just trying his best. And it's not just high fructose corn syrup, all right? Any sweeteners, including table sugars, okay? That white stuff, that white stuff, that bleached stuff, watch out for that, okay? Get you some raw sugar, okay? Raw sugar. It should be like almost beige. You know what I'm saying? If you get that, I think that sugar cane got molasses on it. I think it's a cane, that raw cane to come in a brown bag. I believe that had molasses on it to give it that color, but it should not be white. It should not be bleached. It should not be refined like that. All right, get back on track. Including table sugars can contribute to these health problems. For food manufacturers, high fructose corn syrup is much cheaper sweetener than sugar. It's about the dollar. It's about the dollar. It didn't say it's much healthier. It didn't say that. It's much cheaper. So you got to understand when they're making these decisions, are they making them for your health or are they making them because they're much cheaper? Think about that. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this stuff is crazy, man. And they know, listen, they know this stuff. They know this and they give it right to the kids. They give it to the kids. We can read. It's up to us to realize. I'm telling you guys, start checking out these labels. I'm telling you on some of the stuff that you're buying for your kids, the second, sometimes even the first, sometimes. Ingredients, high fructose corn syrup. Check it out. I'm telling you, start paying more attention. All right. Is the fructose in both table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, each about half glucose and half fructose, that's the most detrimental to your health? Our bodies, excuse me, our health, our bodies break down starch-derived carbohydrates like rice into glucose that is a vital exercise energy source and readily distribute throughout our body. Fructose, however, must be converted by the liver to glucose, glycogen, or fat before being available as an energy source. All right. So when little Timmy and little Malik, right? I just want to give a stereotypical name for both sides. Little Timmy and little Malik, you know what I'm saying? You think they need more energy, and then you hand them a bag of Skittles because you saw Marshawn Lynch doing it. Okay. You're not giving them energy. Okay. What you're doing is you're making their body work harder. You're sending this garbage directly to their liver, which is not producing them energy. Okay. They're actually losing energy because their liver has to do that work right now. Think about that. And remember, I am not knocking nobody. I'm just being real. We have to take the time to do more research on the things that we're shoving into our kids' mouths. All right. I'm watching this. We're putting better care into our car, right? You wouldn't put anything into your car if you knew it caused engine failure. If you knew it caused engine failure, even 5 years down the line, you would not put it in your car. but yet you put things that you know will cause heart failure into your mouth and into your kid's mouth. We have to start thinking like that, my people. We got to start thinking like that. All right. High fructose corn syrup is everywhere. Yes, it is. From processed foods to ice creams, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, and everyday condiments like ketchup and mustard. Yes, they put it in everything. And I'm calling you out, Chick-fil-A. They inject it into the chicken they use. Yeah, you wonder why you like their chicken sandwich so much, because you're addicted to it. Okay. If you don't know, sugar is about 10 times more addictive than cocaine. Yes, yes. You're high on Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and you wonder why the line is the way it is. Okay? They looking like the Carter out there. They looking like the Carter out there. And it's crazy. And they know it. Everybody knows it. Okay? Everybody that's important who's making these decisions about your health knows it. All right. Anyway, these foods have sugar added. You know what? I'm off this. I'm off this one right here because we already know the food is horrible. Let's get to some common foods that have high fructose corn syrup. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right to it. Look at that. Yep. Happy Valentine's Day coming up, right? Happy Valentine's Day, right, Bookie? Let me get you a box of this high fructose corn syrup. Boop, boop. Here we go. Candy. All right. If you have a sweet tooth like mine's, and I do have a sweet tooth, I ain't gonna front. I like to make my own stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? I like to make my own. I don't trust them. You crave a piece of candy as a pick me up, right? But your favorite candy may be packed with high fructose corn syrup plus some other ingredients that you may want to avoid. All right, for optimal health. All right, you know, basic candy bars. You got your Hershey's, cookies and cream, Reese's, Take Five, Baby Ruth, a whole bunch more. Okay, click on these links and I'll give it to you. This is healthline.com. Healthline.com. You know what I'm saying? What's next? Packaged sweets. Okay. What is that packaged sweets? You know, your cupcake, your pastries, your cookies, your Entenmann's. You know what I'm saying? When you go in there, you got them Entenmann's, them little honey buns, all that white glaze. I used to love them joints. I can't no more. I can't. I just can't. I can't. And I'm not saying I'd never eat high fructose corn syrup. It's almost impossible to not have it ever. You gotta watch it. They sneak it in there though. They sneak it. You can avoid the mess out of it. Like I'll be dodging. Soda is full of it. It's full of it. Yo, listen to this, okay? Soda intake is strongly associated with a variety of health concerns, including an elevated risk of, okay? And these are all sources, okay, for what they're about to tell you. For type 2 diabetes, okay? Heart disease, obesity, autoimmune conditions, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, okay? So every time you're out and you hand money to your child, okay, and you let them go grab a soda, because you know why? And this is why I don't really be into the sports like I used to be. Okay, this is exactly why. Because they use these people. Okay, they take a guy who seems really, really cool and put something in his hands that is really, really bad, and then talk to a person who is really, really, really vulnerable. Does that seem fair? Does that seem fair to anybody? I don't know. It seemed a little unfair to me. Okay. Oh, well, be a better parent. Don't let them do this. Don't let them watch that. This is and that. Everywhere. It's on everything. Okay. Take your kid to a game. Take your kid to your next sporting event, right? Your kid's next sporting event. Look what they're selling at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. Look what they're selling. Okay. Tell me it's not the stuff that's causing this. Okay. At 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. This is what they're giving. Okay? These are the options. Things that contain this stuff right here. Okay. The top two options are available. Okay. Packaged sweets. Actually, the top three: candy, right? That's what's available. Candy, packaged sweets, right? And then sodas. Okay. Oh, look what number 4 is. That's there too, right? Juice boxes. That's available. Okay. Even though juice boxes, okay, even though some juices are made with 100% juice and contains no added sweeteners, many juice drinks are flavored with sugary additives, including high fructose corn syrup. Okay. So once again, I'm not even sure how this is legal. Nothing 100% is 100% about this thing here. Okay. Like, how could they even make that statement? All right. I don't know how this is still like this. I'm pretty sure this is banned in other countries. Well, for one, yeah, it has to be. I'm pretty sure. I'll be willing to bet 200 push-ups to anybody who can verify that. Yeah. Minute Maid, right? This is all the stuff that they got for the kids there. Okay. Children and teens often opt to these sweetened fruit juices due to targeting by advertisers, right? Just said that, right? A controversial practice because kids are more vulnerable to the effects of a high sugar diet. You know what I'm saying? Fast foods. Okay. So after you leave the meet, right? After you leave the game, right? After you leave it, you done had 4, 3, 2, and 1, right? And some of us go right to 5. Some of us go right to 5. Fast foods, right? Fast food. Like, you gotta watch out. Look at that. All right, here we go. Fast food intake is associated with a number of health concerns, including obesity and elevated heart disease risk factors in children and adults. Yeah, ain't nobody escaping this one here. You're getting body. Okay, you're eating that. You're eating this stuff. You're gonna go down. And the thing about this is it don't happen immediately, and that's where we just don't think because it just doesn't affect you right away. So you're like, all right, I'll deal with it later. Oh, you're gonna deal with it later. You're gonna deal with it later. Okay. And it's unfortunate because like we get to this point where like you're at the later parts of your life. I tell a lot of my friends, look around. How many healthy old people do you know that's in retirement age of their life and are healthy enough to really enjoy it? How many do you know? That's the question, right? All right, this isn't surprising. These highly processed foods are loaded with calories, sodium, refined carbs, and added sugar. Some fast food menu items may contain high fructose corn syrups. Majority of the items, I mean, some. Come on, don't be polite about it. You've been keeping it a bean. Most of this article, once again, healthline.com. You've been keeping it a bean. Let's keep it all the way a bean. In fact, many desserts served at fast food establishments are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. There we go. I knew they would come right back and keep it a bean because they've been keeping it a bean. Sweet dipping sauces served with fast food favorites like chicken nuggets. You don't even want to know what this is. We'll do a whole nother segment on the nugget, but not today. I don't have enough time. May contain high fructose corn syrup as well. I had to wash my mouth. I'm trying to keep this clean for the kids. Along with all the craziness in the nugget, and it got high fructose corn syrup in it. Man, for example, McDonald's apple pie. First of all, if you're still eating a McDonald's apple pie, You should be smacked up top of your head with a McDonald's apple pie. Politely, though. And the company's sweet and sour dipping sauce contain high fructose corn syrup. Of course it do, because they don't care. Sauces and other condiments, right? You wonder why you can't stop dipping your fries in that Chick-fil-A sauce, right? You wonder why you have to have ketchup on everything. You wonder why? Because you're addicted and it's not your fault. I'm telling you now, let's make better choices. All right. When you're cooking a savory dish, the last thing you might be concerned with is added sugar. Unfortunately, many of your favorite sauces are high in added sugar, sometimes in the form of high fructose corn syrups. Condiments like Dade duck sauce, that sounds like a poisoner, and Sweet Baby Ray's. Listen, I try to tell somebody about Sweet Baby Ray's, right? They talk about how good it tastes. I'm talking about how addicted you are to it. So why wouldn't you think it tastes good? All right. I'm not trying to be funny, but I have to use this analogy. If I'm on a strong drug, like cocaine, I'm going to think it tastes good, really good, if I'm high on it, especially if I want some more of it. So like you're addicted to it. And guys, once again, I'm gonna say this all presentation. I'm not saying this to try to clown nobody. I'm being real with you 100%, okay? I was addicted to it. What are you talking about? I'm not just pointing at you. Me too, okay? I just took the time to learn about it, okay? Ice cream. This is another sad one, baby. You be trying to save $1. Briars be $7 sometimes. So you be like, yo, I'm gonna get the knockoff. It's gotta be the same, right? No, no, it's not the same. It's not. Full of garbage. The second ingredient after water in the original double pop popsicle and and popsicle Spider-Man frozen bars is high fructose corn syrup. The second ingredient, my people. The second ingredient. I'm telling you, they target the children. They target the children. Remember that food labels list ingredients used in the greatest amount first, meaning that high fructose corn syrup is the second most plentiful ingredient in these products. You better believe that, all right? Many ice creams are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup as well, including many of the flavors in Target brand favorite day. Including caramel brownie mousse tracks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you love them mousse tracks. Cookie dough and vanilla bean. That's my favorite right there, vanilla bean. Mm. But I had to cut it off. Gotta cut off. You know what I'm saying? Breakfast foods. Yep. Yep. You may not be surprised to learn that common breakfast sweets like Pop Tarts contain high fructose corn syrup. However, you may not expect savory breakfast items to harbor high fructose corn syrups. Even hearty breakfast dishes like Jimmy Dean sausage, I told you they are shooting sugar into the meat, my people. They want you addicted to this garbage. If you're addicted to it, you're going to eat more. You eat more of it, it's cancerous anyway. So now all of a sudden, you eat more of this cancerous material. Before we used to consume it at a smaller rate and it wasn't so bad for our bodies. But now the meat ain't really even meat. I'm not going to go down that path here, but it's not the same. And you're just consuming it at a higher rate and they hitting you with sugar in it. Okay. Your eggs. Okay. When you buy them breakfast sandwiches, man, that's frozen, you already know you being hit with it. Okay. Bacon, egg, who's Dillions, bacon, egg, and cheese, mini bagels. Come on, man. Just get up about 15 minutes earlier, maybe 20 minutes earlier and cook it yourself. Okay. Man, jelly. This is another one that I was really disturbed about. Jelly. I'm like, man, here I am just trying to have a choke and slide. Little peanut butter and jelly. Anybody else call it choke and slide? That's like the household name I grew up with. Peanut butter and jelly. Excuse me. It's choke and slide. But like they put it up in the peanut butter and jelly too. Like if it's flavored, man, look at this, man. Oh, breads, crackers. Like you can't even have a cracker, man. Your crackers is Ritz crackers, Club crackers, Wonder Bread are just some examples of some of the popular bread and crackers products that contain high fructose corn syrup. Okay, pancake syrup. Yo, listen, and here's the worst part about this one here. Like I'm a pancake waffle guy. Do you know how much it costs for maple syrup? But I'll buy it. I spend the money for it before I put Aunt Jemima back in my mouth. Before I put Miss Butterworth back in my mouth. Miss Butterworth, I think high fructose corn syrup might be the top ingredient in there. I think the other one might be plastic because of the bottom. All right. Pancake syrup and dessert syrups are super sweet. And some or all, yep, keep it a bean. Keep it a bean. I like that. Some or all. All right. Some or all of that sweetness may come from high fructose corn syrup. One of the most popular pancake syrup brands, Pearl Milling, formerly known as Aunt Jemima, uses high fructose corn syrup. Okay. Yes, they do. Most of them do. Keep it in mind, pancake syrup is not the same as 100% pure maple syrup. It is not. Maple syrup is a lot thinner, a lot thinner. You got to get used to it. You try to tip it over like you do in your syrup. You have half your bottle on your pancakes. All right, and it's like it's definitely sweet, but it's like a different sweet. It's like that natural sweet. Like it hit different. Like I like it. I love it actually. So it took me a little bit to get off, wean myself off the drug I was on called syrup. And once I stopped using syrup and I was able to take the steps necessary to wean myself off of that, I really enjoy the natural taste of maple syrup, and it's worth the money that I spend. Oh yeah, you want to give your kid an applesauce pouch? Yep. You're pouching them right on up with that high fructose corn syrup. Like once again, look how young they start with the targeting of this garbage here. Okay, we're talking about little kids. All right, the bottom line: reducing your consumption of all sources of added sugar, including high fructose corn syrup, is a smart way to improve your overall health. I agree. Okay, healthline.com. You've been dropping the bomb. I appreciate you. All right. Certain foods and beverages, including sodas, candy, ice cream, breakfast food, snacks, food, and packaged desserts, commonly contain added sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup. And notice that's literally everything. Okay. Okay. Just in case you don't believe it's everything, I'm gonna skim down here and then y'all can just check out the list while I slowly skim down. Enjoy. Okay. Put my music back on. And like know about these guys here, right? They make almost everything on this list. Okay. This company makes almost everything on this list here and some sort. They're tied into it. They got their hands in it. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, remember when I was talking about the wrestling, the sporting meets, and right now I'm in wrestling season right now. So we there wrestling and hockey. I haven't really seen too many glizzies for breakfast at a hockey, but at the wrestling meets, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, they got the glizzies rolling, and I'm watching people just down glizzies for breakfast. We're gonna talk about the glizzy and the lunch meat. How dangerous are these? What's the worst thing that can happen? Messing with these things right here. All right. Let's keep scrolling down here. McDonald's hamburgers. They know they should have just put McDonald's. They talking about McDonald's hamburger. No, McDonald's is high fructose corn syrup. What are you talking about? McDonald's hamburgers. The bun, the fries, the toy got high fructose corn. Yo, even the toy got high fructose corn syrup in it, man. Stay out of McDonald's, man. Stop playing. Mm, does your protein have high fructose corn syrup in it? Does it? Huh? Or the, I know, right? You think you're doing good. Man, I'm gonna have me a protein shake today. I'm gonna have a protein bar today. You see how they attacking you? It's hard to get away from these people. Okay. Here's one I don't want to go past. Excuse me. Your peanut butter. Your peanut butter. Once again, you're just trying to have a choke and slide, right? They bust you with the jelly. They busting you with the peanut butter. So now you got a double layer of high fructose corn syrup. Bring that back. You got a triple layer because what else has high fructose corn syrup in here? What number was you? Huh? What number was you? Let's find you. Let's find you. Let's find you. Let's find you. You're probably up top because you're important, right? Yep. So now you have a triple dose of high fructose corn syrup. And all you wanted to do was just have a simple peanut butter and jelly. Okay? This is crazy, man. Your baked beans, Bush, you're high. Okay? Like, and look how they try to hijack, okay? Like they separate the ham, right? They separate the ham from the turkey. So you don't realize that both of the meats that you're eating are on this list. Just put lunch meat, B. Stop trying to play. Like, and this is where, guys, you gotta be able to dodge these hijacks. They be trying to get you to see something else that's not really going on. Like, come on, I see it exactly for what it is, okay? Be careful of hidden sugars. Yes, I agree. Alternate names for sugar on nutrition labels. Beet sugar, brown sugar, corn sweetener, corn syrup, dextrose, evaporated cane juice. I'm not sure why that's funny, but it sounds hilarious. Yo, man, you have any of that evaporated cane juice? Ah, put that in the vape. That's like a vape flavor. Let me get that evaporated cane, please. Thank you. Yeah, 2 cartridges. Fruit juice concentrate, the lactose, glucose, grape sugar, high fructose corn syrup, honey, invert corn syrup. This is one I see a lot. That's Let me see what this is real quick. Hold on. Y'all got time to surf with me? Y'all got time to surf with me real quick? Let's surf. Let me surf real quick. Hold up. Let me surf. Let me surf real quick, my people. Let me surf. What is this? This is how you gotta be, literally. You just can't accept it. You can't accept this and be like, oh, yeah, invert corn syrup. Nah, B. What is this? What is this? All right, here we go. The basic. Invert sugar, also known as invert sugar syrup or invert syrup, is a liquid sweetener made from granulated table sugar and water. All right. The table sugar is a compound scientifically known as sucrose. It is formed when one sugar molecule called glucose chemically binds to another sugar molecule called fructose. So wait a minute. Inverse sugar is basically just sugar water. I mean, if we from the hood. You from the hood? You grew up on us. We drinking sugar water. You know what I'm saying? We should have been doing it with some better sugar. All right. What is the difference between inverse sugar and corn syrup? Let's see. Let's just get down to it. Is it harmful? That's what I want to know. Inverse sugar, a 50-50 mixture of two sugars dextrose and fructose is a sweetener and more soluble than sucrose, table sugar. All right, soluble is good. That means it's able to pass through, guys. You can get this through your body. Okay, if it's not soluble, whew, causing problems. It's stuck in the body. We can't get rid of it. All right. Invert sugars form when sucrose is split into two by an enzyme or an acid. It provides empty calories, contributes to tooth decay, and should be avoided. Oh, I don't want tooth decay. I do not want that. All right. So I think I learned enough about invert sugar. No, I definitely don't want no smoke with that. All right. Let's continue to search. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to, I just want to show you guys multiple sources. So you can just see. All right. Princeton.edu. All right. Y'all look up to these prestigious places, right? Ivy League, is that what we call them? Ivy League, top schools of education, which I don't even understand that. Like, education's got to be education. Why are you're saying they can get better education because they're paying more money? Which I know is happening all over. I'm not stupid. It's happening at every level, but like still falling for it at the college level is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like you fall for it younger, like, oh, I want to make sure my kid has a great opportunity. It's this and that. All right, I get that. Like by college, you haven't figured out that like education is just education. Like, excuse me, my smoothie, baby. This presentation is brought to you by Herbalife Nutrition, best nutrition on the planet. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into it. What Princeton talking about? What is Princeton talking about here? Let's see. A sweet problem. Princeton researchers found that high fructose corn syrup prompts considerably more weight gain. Hmm. Okay. Let's find some meat here. Well, yeah, they say this. Some people have claimed that high fructose corn syrup is no different than other sweeteners when it comes to weight gain and obesity. But our results make it clear that this just isn't true, at least under the conditions of our tests. All right. Well, they got some rats up in here drinking high fructose corn syrup. In the results published online February 26th by our journal Pharmacology, Biochemistry, and Behavior, the researchers from the Department of Psychology and the Princeton Neuroscience Institute reported on two experiments investigating the link between the consumption of high fructose corn syrup and obesity. The first study showed that male rats given water sweetened with high fructose corn syrup in addition to the standard diet rat child gained much more weight than male rats that received water sweetened with table sugar or sucrose in conjunction with the standard diet. The concentration of sugar in the sucrose solution was as the same as found in some commercial soft drinks, while the high fructose corn syrup solution was half the concentration of most sodas. Yo, did you catch that? Did you pay attention to that? Okay, so they said that the study, the male rats that was given the sweetened high fructose corn syrup in addition to the standard diet gained more weight. All right, we expect that, right? But they also said that for the the concentration of sugar in the sucrose solution was the same as found as in soft drinks. All right, so it's 1-to-1. Whatever you get in the soda, the sucrose, the amount of sucrose you get in the soda is the amount of sucrose you get in this experiment. But in the high fructose corn syrup, you only got half of what they're giving you in the soda. Only half. Okay, so they cut the concentration down by half, and they still gained more weight. They still gain more weight. All right. Second experiment. The first long-term study of the effects of high fructose corn syrup consumption on obesity lab animals, monitor weight gain, body fat, and triglyceride levels in rats with access to high fructose corn syrup over a period of 6 months, compared to animals eating only rat chow. Rats on a diet rich in high fructose corn syrup show characteristic signs of dangerous conditions known in humans as metabolic syndrome, including abnormal weight gain, significant increases in circulating triglycerides, and augmenting fat depositions, and especially visceral fat around the belly. Male rats in particular ballooned in size. Animals with access to high fructose corn syrup gain 48% more weight than those eating a normal diet. Did you hear that? 48% more weight. You're let me we had to drink water. Sometimes I just have to drink water when I get upset because it keeps me from just like yeah, that's pretty sad. All right. 48%. 48% more. All right. And males, did you hear that? It's hitting you harder, males. You wondering why some of you guys are walking around, you look pregnant, boobs. It's this. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being real. Like those are real characteristics I'm seeing. Men who look pregnant and have boobs. Okay. It's this stuff here. Okay. These rats just aren't getting fat. Okay. Listen to this here. These rats just ain't getting fat. They're demonstrating characteristics of obesity, including substantial increase in abnormal fat and circulating triglycerides. Excuse me. All right, so let's take it back. The rats aren't just getting fat, they're demonstrating characteristics of obesity, including substantial increase in that abnormal fats and circulating triglycerides, said Princeton graduate student Miriam Bokarsley. In humans, these same characteristics are known risk factors for high blood pressure, artery coronary artery disease, cancer, and diabetes. Remember that first article though? Okay, that's why you gotta like, you can't just click on one thing and think you know something. Okay, and this right here online, this ain't really great research. Like, go on and find some real hard paper. Yeah, I'm saying get on some real paper. But this is a great way to do it quick. Get on here, verify some information, cross-reference some stuff. But like, you see how that first one try to like minimize it, like, and they probably receiving funding from somebody. It's always about the money. All right. In addition to Hobel and Bokarsley, my bad for butchering that, the research team included Princeton's undergraduate Elsie Powell and visiting research associate Nicole Avena, who was affiliated with Rockefeller University. Oh, okay. If y'all want to dive into something, want to learn about some people, it's a great place to learn about some stuff. A lot of stuff changed here medically. When this guy got involved with the medical world, a lot of stuff changed medically. Okay, should look into that. A lot of stuff happened. Chicago, University of Chicago, looking at that. Those places. A lot of stuff changed medically. This is where we lost the holistic side of medicine. It's got lost right up in here with this guy right here. So do some research on that guy and learn how our drugs system started here with the healthcare and how we got away from medicine. But let's get back on task here. All right. Affiliated with Rockefeller University during this during the study, and is now on the faculty at the University of Florida. The Princeton researchers note that they do not know yet why high fructose corn syrup fed to the rats in their study generated more triglycerides and more body fat than resulted in excuse me, and more body fat that resulted in obesity. I tell you why, because our body's not ready to handle this garbage. It's poison. So it's doing too much, it's working too hard. Okay. High fructose corn syrup and sucrose are both compounds that contain simple sugar, fructose, and glucose, but there are at least two clear differences between them. All right. First, sucrose is a compound equal to the amount of two simple sugars. It is 50% fructose and 50% glucose, but the typical high fructose corn syrup in the study features a slightly imbalanced ratio containing 55% fructose and 42% glucose. That math look off. Larger sugar molecules called higher saccharides make up, okay, there we go, the remaining 3% of the sweeteners. Second, as a result of the manufacturing process of the high fructose corn syrup, the fructose molecules in the sweeteners are free and unbound, ready for absorption and utilization. In contrast, every fructose molecule in the sucrose that comes from cane sugars or beet sugars is bound to a corresponding glucose molecule and must go through an extra metabolic step before it can be utilized. All right. It's starting to get a little over my head with this jargon here. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's continue, my people. Feel free to go grab a drink, man. Let's buckle up because we're gonna be here for a little bit. All right. I'm not playing about this. I'm serious about letting you guys know how dangerous this is for the kids. And you too, adults. I care about y'all too, but the kids, they out here, we gotta take care of them. So we gotta do better. Here we go. Where we at here? ScienceDirect.com. All right. Adolescents, high fructose corn syrup consumption leads to dysfunction in adult affective behaviors and mesolimbic proteins in male Sprague Dawley rats. All right. This is just an abstract here. Let's read the intro, see what they did here. All right. Adolescence is known to be a key period of neural maturation wherein the brain undergoes significant synaptic alterations that persist into adulthood. All right. And this is why they target the children during these ages. Okay. There's so much development going on. There's so much stuff that's going to feed into, excuse me, feed into the foundation of who they are for the rest of their life. So like they get you early. I know some people may have heard the phrase before. They say, "Give me the boy the first 7 years of his life, and I'll make him into the man or something." I'm not sure how exactly how it go, but it mean like from you give me him from 1 to 7, and that's gonna be the foundation of who he becomes the rest of his life. All right. This developmental period is marked by dramatic synaptic pruning and reorganization with a 40% decrease in synaptic density between the human ages of 7 to 15. Importantly, regressive processes during the adolescence may represent a delayed opportunity for the environmental molding. Adolescence brain development is centralized in a region involved in a higher order processing, such as the medial prefrontal cortex and the mesometabolic dopamine system. During the critical period of neural reorganization, exposure to the exogenous substance has been shown to alter the normal progression of central nervous system development. That's important stuff there. The central nerve, that's your whole being right there, my people. Remember, your nerves is what make you feel, right? Without that, that's dangerous there. The consumption of added sugars such as high fructose corn syrup sweeteners frequently found in beverages has escalated over the recent years, while adolescents are the top consumers. While adolescents are the top consumers of high fructose corn syrup, researchers examine the impact of excessive high fructose corn syrups on cognition and behaviors during the critical development periods in its infancy. All right. Where I'm at, I'm pretty high. Recent research has demonstrated the overconsumption of added sugars can elicit deficits in both cognitive and motivated behavior. In human juvenile diets, high-end processed foods and sugars were correlated with lower school achievements. Okay. It's dumbing you down, my people. Additionally, consumption of sugars, sweetened beverages during the early childhood was associated with a decrease in cognitive abilities during the middle childhood. All right. So stop giving your child soda and them sweet drinks. Water. Okay. If you're craving a little sweetness, add honey to your water. But raw, you know what I mean? Just get some regular, not refined honey. Just simple. All right. The relationship appears to be linear. As the more sweetened beverages, all right, remember SSB is sugary sweetened beverages, consumed, the larger the cognitive deficit. Similarly, rodent studies have demonstrated juvenile sugar induced deficits in cognitive ability and associated physical changes in the brain that last long into adulthood. This stuff is serious, my people. What's the worst thing that can happen? I think we finding out right now. And I'm not even halfway through the slides I got. All right. In addition to the cognitive functions, adolescent sugar consumption has been linked to the changes in affective behaviors such as depression and motivation, which persist in adulthood. What is the worst thing that can happen? Consuming this garbage seems pretty dangerous, right? You want to keep gambling? Consumption of highly palatable foods such as high fructose corn syrup has been shown to overstimulate the mesolimbic DA system and increase dopamine release along with compensatory reduction in D2 receptors expression. Yo, hold up. Let's take that back here. Let's take that back. Let's take that back. Consumption of highly palatable foods such as high fructose corn syrup has been shown to overstimulate the mesolimbic DA system and increase dopamine release. Remember when I said this stuff is 10 times more addictive than cocaine? What does cocaine do? Trigger dopamine release. All right. Individuals struggling with drug addiction and obesity also exhibit the reduction in D2 receptors expression, which may lead to overconsumption of the desired stimuli to achieve satisfaction. Why are you constantly just shoving the cookies in your mouth? It's not because you're fat and greedy, it's because you're addicted. And they know this, and you've been targeted, and your child has been targeted. What is the worst thing that can happen consuming this garbage? You're hearing it right now. You're hearing it right now. Hope you're understanding this stuff. Okay. I don't mean to sound angry, but it pees me oh. It pees me oh. Okay. When they bother kids. I hate when they target kids. Okay. These findings suggest that important role for the D2 receptor and neurological changes induced by reinforcing stimuli such as highly palatable foods. In addition to the reinforcement of DA transmission has also been well established to modulate efforts related decision making that is required for the acquisition of food. Okay, I'll read that again. In addition to reinforcement, the DA transmission has also been well established to modulate effort related decision making that is required for the acquisition of food. Okay, so it's messing up the receptors that's telling you, are you hungry? Are you full or not? You don't know if you're full. You're constantly just eating. You're wondering why you can just sit down and just eat that much food when you go out. Okay, you go out, right? They bring you this giant plate of food, and we've all done it, right? We've all done it. You be looking like, this is a lot of food. I'm not going to be able to eat this food. There's no way I eat this plate. And then you smash that joint. This is why we're being targeted. This is why both the D1 and D2 receptors antagonisms have been shown to produce low effects biases in efforts related to tasks. Further, extracellular dopamine levels increase in the tandem with work requirement, suggesting an important role in motivated behavior. Notably, deficits in efforts related to related choice behaviors are seen in patients with clinical depression and are among the most difficult symptoms to effectively treat. Okay, what is the worst thing that can happen? All right, all right. What's the worst thing that can happen here? Okay, let's see here. In addition, this is a good one here. I'm liking this one. In addition to dopaminergic, dopaminergic, dopaminergic signaling. Recent research suggests that mesolimbic protein kinase activity is important for feeding behavior. For example, PKG activity in mesolimbic DA pathways is associated with an increased food-seeking behaviors. Increase in food-seeking behaviors are likely mediated by the ability of PKG to increase DA transmission through inhibition of D2 autoreceptors, aka because you didn't eat all this high fructose corn syrup and your D2 receptors aren't working properly, aka they can't tell you that you're full. Now you don't have the ability to regulate this food-seeking behavior. What's the worst thing that can happen, my people? Scary stuff, right? This is currently currently limited research on the motivational properties of PKG in mammals. But in honeybees, increased expression has been associated with transition from hive-dwelling nurse bees to foraging bees. It is plausible that similar PKG dependent mechanisms are involved in the initiation of motivated behaviors in mammals. I mean, we all come from the same Hawaii, you know what I'm saying? So I would think that I think it's okay to assume that we might exhibit similar behaviors, right? Let's press on. But let's press on. Fructose and uric acid as the rise of hyperactive foraging response, a clue to behavioral disorders associated with impulsivity or mania. All right. Several behavioral disorders, including attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, bipolar disorder, and aggressive behaviors are linked with sugar intake and obesity. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? We keep messing with these sugars. The reasons for this associations has been unclear. Yeah, right. Dodge the hijack on that statement. Here we present a hypothesis supporting the role of fructose and a component of sugar in high fructose corn syrup and uric acid, fructose metabolic, and increasing the risk for these behavioral disorders. Recent studies have shown that the reason fructose intake is strongly associated with developmental metabolic syndrome and that fructose intake activates an involuntary based survival pathway that stimulates foraging behaviors. And I like how they put that. And a storage of energy as fat. Wow. Modest intake may aid animals that would like to store fat as protective response from food shortage or starvation. We propose that high intake of sugar and high fructose corn syrup, a hyperactive foraging response that stimulate craving, impulsivity, risk-taking, and aggression that increases the risk of ADHD, bipolar disorder, and aggressive behaviors. High glycemic carbohydrates and salty foods may also contribute as they can be converted into fructose in the body. Some studies suggest uric acid produced during fructose metabolism may mediate some of these effects. Chronic stimulation of chronic stimulation of the pathway could lead to desensitization of hedonic response and induce depression. In conclusion, a hyperactive foraging response driven by high glycemic carbohydrates, a sugar may contribute affective disorders, aka if you eating all this high fructose corn syrup and you don't know that you are full and you continuously eat, you're going to make yourself depressed because you're going to pick on all this extra weight. Like, come on. Right? They just bringing it home right now. Like, let's continue to serve. High fructose corn syrup, a recipe for hypertension. What's the worst thing that can happen? Like, this don't sound like anything I would want to be doing. Okay? This sound right up there with drugs. Right? Like, this sound right up there with drugs. Like, we should be having, like, say no to high fructose corn syrup campaign, just like we got the war on drugs. Like, where's the high fructose free school zone joint? Like, we need that. How you got the drug free school zone? We need the high fructose free school zone. Okay. High fructose corn syrup, a recipe for hypertension. A diet high in high fructose, a diet high in fructose increases the risk of developing high blood pressure, hypertension, according to the paper being presented at American Society of Nephrology 42nd Annual Meeting of Scientific Exposure in San Diego, California. The findings suggest that cutting back on processed foods and beverages that contain high fructose corn syrups may help prevent hypertension. I mean, sounds like a common sense choice to me after hearing everything that we done heard today so far. Okay, and we still pressing on. Over the last 200 years, the rate of fructose intake has directly paralleled the increasing rate of obesity, which has increased sharply in the last 20 years since the introduction of high fructose corn syrup. Today in America, okay, today Americans consume 30% more fructose than 20 years ago. Why is that? Because it's cheaper, right? They consume 30% more fructose than 20 years ago and up to 4 more times than 100 years ago when obesity rates were less than 5%. It was getting it popping back then. It was healthy. It was moving around. Everything was, you know what I mean, natural. Like when they was eating meat still, but it wasn't processed. It wasn't like it wasn't this big factory. It wasn't these, I don't even want to call them clone or whatever. I don't know how they make this stuff so fast, but it wasn't the same way. All right. Our ancestors, they didn't have to face these things, man. That's why they look so great. All right. While the increase mirrors the dramatic rise in the prevalence of hypertension, studies have been inconsistent in linking excess fructose in the diet to hypertension. Who's doing the studies? All right. What's behind this, right? Deanna Jala, MD, University of Colorado, Denver Health Science Center, and her colleagues studied the issue in large representation population of U.S. adults. They examined 4,528 adults 18 years of age or older with no prior history of hypertension. Fructose intake was calculated based on a dietary questionnaire, and foods such as fruit juices, soft drinks, bakery products, and candies were included. Dr. Jalal's team found that people who ate or drank more than 74 grams per day of fructose, 2.5 sugary drinks per day. All right. Now, I know a lot of us are over that. Now, don't forget, included in these sugary drinks, we're talking about Gatorade. We're talking about Powerade. Yep. We're talking about Gatorade. We're talking about Powerade. Okay. Those sugary drinks that we're giving to the kids. Okay. Increase their risk of developing hypertension. Specifically, a diet more than 74 grams per day of fructose led to 28%, 36%, and 87% higher risk of blood pressure levels of 135 over 85, 140 over 90, and 160 over 100. So normal blood pressure range is 120 over 80. Okay, so 135, 140, that's starting to get up there. 160, you in some trouble. All right. And Boom, they go right into it and state the normal ranges right here below. I didn't even peep that, but I just want to display uh, where my money went in college. I mean, I retained that information. These results indicate that high fructose intake in the form of added sugars is significantly and independently associated with higher blood pressure levels, all right, higher blood pressure levels in the U.S. adult population with no previous history of hypertension. The authors conclude, all right, in addition, additional studies are needed to show low fructose diets can normalize blood pressure and prevent the development of hypertension. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. Fructose ingestion acutely elevates blood pressure in healthy young humans. All right, they're attacking my yabs. All right, they're attacking the yabs, my young energetic beings. You're under attack out here. You got to pay attention, my yebs. I keep telling you, they're using these clowns to sell you these things. All right, okay. And I call them clowns because they know better, man. You think they don't know better? They do it for a check. Okay, everything comes down to money. Okay, I guess they need the money and they're willing to put you at risk. Okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? High fructose corn syrup. All right, overconsumption of fructose. All right, particularly in the form of soft drinks. All right, y'all coming in here with these sodas and these juices is increasingly recognized as a public health concern. Okay, not in that first article though. Remember, it was just as same as honey. The acute cardiovascular response to ingesting fructose have not, however, been well studied in humans. In this randomized crossover study, we compare cardiovascular autonomic regulation after ingesting water and drinking in drinks containing either glucose or fructose in 15 healthy volunteers ages 21 to 33. The total volume of each drink was 500 milliliters and the sugar content was 660 grams. For 30 minutes before and 2 hours after each drink, we recorded beat-to-beat heart rate, arterial blood pressure, and cardiac output. Energy expenditure was determined on a minute-by-minute basis. Ingesting the fructose drink significantly increased blood pressure. Increasing the fructose drink significantly increased blood pressure, heart rate, and cardiac output by not totally peripheral resistance. Excuse me. I'm gonna read that again because that was important and I butchered it a little bit. All right. So ingestion of fructose drinks significantly increased blood pressure, heart rate, and cardiac output, but not total peripheral resistance. All right. So you wonder why, right? You didn't drink Gatorade and all that stuff. Some of you drinking sodas before games or competitions, and then you get there, your numbers gets called, your heart rate speeds up, and all of a sudden you think you got anxiety. You don't got anxiety. You've been poisoning yourself with this stuff, and it's causing you to have hypertension, which makes people believe sometimes that they have an anxiety attack because their heart rate is just moving out of control. All right. Glucose ingestion resulted in a significantly greater increase in cardiac output than fructose, but no change in blood pressure and a concomitant decrease. What does that word mean? Concomitant. I gotta find that out. My bad, people. We gotta surf the wave right now. Concomitant. Listen, I ain't ashamed. Remember I told y'all keep it 100? You're not gonna say a word to me and I don't know what you're saying now. Yeah, give me the definition of this here. How do you pronounce that? Yep, I had it right. Naturally accompanying or associated. All right. So what are they talking about with that then? All right. So let's read that back then. Glucose ingested resulted in a significantly greater increase in cardiac output than fructose, but no change in the blood pressure and a concomitant decrease in total peripheral resistance. So we had a naturally accompanied change, okay? It was just naturally. It was associated with it naturally. All right, you know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta, don't be afraid to just go look up a word if you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what you're reading. If not, why are you reading? Last 30 years have been a tremendous increase in the consumption of refined sugars in the Western diet. Yeah, dangerous. Western diet, Western medicine, dangerous. It's dangerous. Carbonated soft drinks supply about 1/3 of the total daily sugar intake. Dang! Y'all drinking that much soda, man? With fruit drinks contributing to a further 10%. Drink some water. Fructose compromises about 1/2 of the sugar in soft drinks. Oh, excuse me, comprises about 1/2 of the sugar in soft drinks. Either binds to glucose as a disaccharide sucrose or as a component of high fructose corn syrup, which is increasingly used as a sweetener in soft drinks. Study in animals have shown a clear association between sugar intake and development of hypertension and tachycardia. Tachycardia just means super fast heartbeat. Fructose component seems to be particularly damaging because in dogs, a diet that is high in fructose but not in glucose leads to hypertension, elevated plasma and triglycerides, insulin resistance, and hyperinsulinemia. High fructose diets have also been linked with the development of cardiac hypertrophy. That just means your heart get bigger. Reduced baroflex sensitivity and renal damage in rats, however, the acute effects of fructose ingestion on the blood pressure and hemodynamics are unclear. All right. This is getting a little wordy here. I think we get the drift, all right? It's not good for your blood pressure. Okay. Oh, asthma too? High fructose corn syrup linked to higher chances of asthma. What's the worst thing that can happen? We putting asthma on that list now? A worst thing that can happen? Hmm. All right. Consumption of high fructose corn syrup is now being linked to higher incidence of asthma in children. Moms also can increase their chance that their baby will have asthma by 60% if they consume fructose and sugar sweetened beverage during pregnancy. Yo, let me sit back real quick. I'm gonna read that again. Moms also can increase the chance that their baby will have asthma by 60% if they consume fructose and sugar sweetened beverages during pregnancy. Y'all better stop playing with these juices, ladies. The National Institute of Health, NIH, in a study of children in 2018 came to the same conclusion that the intake of high fructose corn syrup beverages, including apple juice, damn, increases the likelihood of asthma in kids. That's the first thing they tell you to drink. You get sick. Have some clear fluids. Drink apple juice. The concern is that fructose might cause lung inflammation. What's the worst thing that can happen? One of the changes that take place during an asthma attack. The study concludes that if your child is consuming drinks with high fructose corn syrup more than 5 days a week, then he or she is more is 5 times more likely to develop asthma than a child who consumed drinks with high fructose corn syrup less than once per month. Now you wonder why all these kids is running around here with asthma. Is it all making sense? What's the worst thing that can happen? Are you listening? Is it making sense? So when y'all come in here and y'all got these drinks and y'all got this candy and you wonder why I'm so hard, or if you're around me and I'm out and I get on your kid and you're wondering why I'm doing all this and why Jules don't want to eat this. Oh, what do you eat? Bird food, this and that. I'm trying to avoid these things. I'm trying to help your child avoid these things. Okay. Get off my back. I'm trying to save your kid's life. Okay. We have to be more aware, my people. All right. If your child likes to drink juice, there are other options. Orange juice was not a high fructose corn syrup culprit, according to the study, and is found to be a better choice than apple juice. You can also make an effort to reduce the amount of high fructose corn syrup consumed per week or increase your child's intake of water. Boom! Drink the water. Drink the water. Get some fresh mint. Drop some mint in there. Like in the summertime, I grow fresh mint. I use it all the time. All right. Drop some mint up in that joint. All right. Some lemon limes, little mint. Oh man, it's beautiful. All right, here we are. High fructose corn syrup has been quietly, deceitfully renamed. What? They renamed it. What are they calling it now? High fructose corn syrup is a killer. Thank you. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're dealing with a killer. You might as well let your kid hang out with a psychopath. It's the same thing. Probably even worse. At least the psychopath might come through. This has no conscience. Has no conscience. All right. Since humans started consuming it, obesity rates have more than tripled, and diabetes incidents have increased more than sevenfold. Even when used in moderation, it is a major cause of heart disease, obesity, cancer, dementia, liver failure, tooth decay, and more. Whoa. So, what does the FDA do about this silent killer? That's a great question. That's a great question. What does the FDA do about this silent killer? It allows food producers to change the name of this infamous sweetener in order to trick consumers into thinking they are not eating high fructose corn syrup. My people, buckle up. I did not know this. Okay. I'm reading this article for the first time. When I was finishing up, I kind of stumbled on it. Hawaii must have sent this right to me. And I was like, let me just throw this in here. I'll check it out when I get on there with the people. Whew. That's right. High fructose corn syrup now goes by a new deceitful name, natural sweetener. Oh, sons of a bee. I did not know that. Oh, designed to trick consumers into making ill-informed choices that will impact their health. Consumers are finally catching on to the fact that what we put in our mouths affect our waistline as well as our health, as well as our brain. Don't forget that, as well as our brain, okay? As well as our brain. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're hearing it, okay? Since consumers have become more smarter and finally waking up to these realities, they are demanding healthier food choices. Every food company is smearing 100% natural on every box of anything, regardless of what's inside the box. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for these hijacks. I'm telling you, when you see those 100% things or fat free, think chemical poop storm. Okay, chemical poop storm is happening all in your body when that's going down. All right. Yes. Now we have to know the new sneaky name. All right, we got to know the new sneaky name to know whether or not we are consuming high fructose corn syrup. Now, obviously, the best way to avoid these mess is to buy from companies you really trust, aka cook your own food. That's the only company I really trust, 100%. All right, at least for the food, I haven't really found nobody really that I'm banging with. I'm just give me my food straight up, okay? If I eat meat, I'm from pause on that too. If I consume animal products, if I consume animal products, I go to a butcher from a farm locally, and I hope that they're not doing what some of the larger manufacturers are doing. All right. Big food companies are handling ingredients they know we really don't want to consume in their products. All right. They're hiding them. I said handling, excuse me. They're hiding them. This time it is present of a new version of high fructose corn syrup, but this is not the innoxious fructose that has sweetened the fruits humans have eaten since the time began. Nah, this ain't that. This is this is the questionable ingredient that with many names that could be causing all sorts of health problems. The products in General Mills, vanilla checks, an updated version of Chex cereal salad, and most conventional grocery and discount stores. Yo, I butchered that all up, man. I'm tired. We've been here for a while. I appreciate y'all. Let me just finish up strong here, okay? The product in General Mills, vanilla Chex, an updated version in the Chex cereal sold in most conventional groceries and discount stores for many years. The front of the box clearly states that the product contains no high fructose corn syrup, but turn it over to read the ingredient list, and there it is, the new isolated fructose. These sons of bees, man, they just doing this. Why is that a problem? You know what I'm saying? According to Corn Refiners Association, they've been sneaky name changing. The term fructose is now being used to denote the product that was previously known as high fructose corn syrup, meaning it's 90% pure fructose. Compare this to is termed regular high fructose corn syrup, which contains either 42 or 55% fructose. And you will know why General Mills is so eager to keep it in the dark. Yo, these are some shady people, man. I got one more, man. Let's just see. It's our last one here. It's our last one. Just want to show y'all this chart. Because remember they said when they start using the high fructose corn syrup, that was a lot. Okay. All right. So let's check out the graph. Okay. Okay. This is the percent of obesity here. Okay. This is years. This is high fructose corn syrup. So notice they wasn't using high fructose corn syrup like that back in the 60s, 70s. Okay. They introduced it in the 80s. Okay. Ramped that thing up. Boom. Now here we are in the 90s. Boom. Ramped it up again. 2000. You think they stopped? I don't think so. They renamed it. As they just told you, they renamed it. They renamed it. They renamed it. All right, my peoples. I appreciate y'all for hanging out that long. All right. I think we found out clearly what's the worst thing that could happen. Okay. Stay tuned. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please share. Please smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? This this is important. We need to get this out. Okay. The more people who like this video, it's an algorithm. Right? They'll float this around more. We need more people to know about this information so we can do better for our kids and ourselves. All right. I love y'all. Stay amazing. I hope you have the most amazing day on purpose. I hope you did not find any of this information to be offensive, disrespectful. Um, Hopefully you found it to be enlightening, educational, hopefully life-changing, hopefully life-altering. Um, Modify your behavior. Like it's doable, my people. I think once you know, I think you can make better choices. And I think we found out today what is the worst thing that can happen from dealing with high fructose corn syrup. As that last article stated, it's a killer. All right. I love y'all. Oh, wow. Stay amazing.